Hello, family. We hope that you're enjoying yourselves here with us on the Lit Television Network. We're interrupting the current programming in order to begin our following scheduled broadcast. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the new edition of Pragmatic Solutions with John Wyche. Man, I got a very special guest today, and I can't wait to introduce him to you. But before we do that, I want to talk about what I always talk about. Parents, loved ones, sisters, brothers, aunties, grandma, all of y'all. Pray for our children. Let me say that again. Pray for our children, because I'm telling you, the prayers of my mom and my daddy are still sustaining my family to this day. Now, I always tell people, I can go back to Pensacola, Florida, and go to Tabor Chapel and Zion Church, and I can actually see my name on the cornerstone of my home church in Pensacola. We call it Big Zion. My name is actually on that doggone cornerstone. It's going to be there forever. That is a direct reflection of the legacy of my mom and my dad. So parents, the prayers, my mom and my dad are gone, but their prayers are still sustaining my family to this day, and they will always sustain it. So pray for our community and pray for your family. The next thing is turning dollars over. It is imperative that we turn dollars over in the Black community from one Black hand to another Black hand. We need to do that. If a dollar stays in the Black community, turns over in the Black community one time, it's already late for somewhere. And we need to change that. And we need to be intentional about changing that for our generations to come. We have to be the generation that changes that. Now, without any further ado, I want to bring on my friend, the Secretary of the Florida Lottery, John F. Davis, and also he's a Florida State safety that was USA Today and all that. He was a monster, and he's got all kind of tradition at Florida State. But I want to bring in the Secretary of the Florida Lottery, John F. Davis. How you doing, man?
Hey, hello, John. How you doing, man? I'm doing great, blessed and fortunate, and grateful to have this opportunity to be able to, as we would say in Seminole country, to be able to chop it up with you today.
That's right. That's right. I want to start off by just stating some fact. You know, it is amazing that the Florida Lottery has been in existence for 33 years. It doesn't seem like it's been 33 years.
Yeah, it has been 33 years. I tell you, it's an amazing opportunity to be able to follow in the footsteps of so many before me. I'm fortunate. Governor Ron DeSantis appointed me to be the 10th secretary here at the Florida Lottery in 2020. So it's been about 2 years now that I've been at the helm of the lottery, and we're still focused on what we're created to do, and that is to be able to provide additional funding for education. And it's a lot of fun. Got a great team here, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, having a chance to work with Governor DeSantis and the team to really focus on how we can continue to provide funding for our K through 12 colleges and universities, as well as our Bright Future Scholarship.
You know, the thing I really love is how efficient the lottery is in terms of there's only 1% of the lottery in terms of it goes to administrative costs. 1%. That is amazing.
You're absolutely right. I tell you, I've had a chance, to spend most of my time in the private sector. And if you have 10% or 15%, I mean, for the most part, I mean, you're considered a very successful company. And when you being here, there are three things that we really focus on here, and three things that when the governor offered me the position that he really wanted to focus on, and that's continuing to drive revenue to be able to help fund education here in the state, to do it efficiently, and that's what you're making reference to. 99% of the revenue that we generate here at the lottery, because of the players that we have across this state and those that visit this state, go back into the Florida economy in the forms of being able to pay prizes to our players. There are more than 13,000 retailers that we work with and who also receives a percentage of every ticket that's sold as well as commission. And of course, as I mentioned, our why and the reason we exist, which is all about being able to fund education here in this great state.
Tell me right now, as you look on the horizon of end of 2022 and 2023 and beyond, what are some of the initiatives that you're looking forward to launching?
Yes, as I mentioned, our primary purpose is all about being able to provide additional funding for education. And as we continue to fund K through 12 colleges and universities, one of the things that I've had a chance to work, in working here in this role at the direction of the governor, and the lottery is currently working in collaboration with the Florida Department of Education. Spent quite a bit of time with talking and having a chance to meet with Commissioner Diaz and his team, in which our team is meeting on a weekly basis to kick off an initiative that is going to be focused on ways in which we can generate more awareness around the Bright Future Scholarship Program. We're going to be focused on awareness starting in middle schools as well as some of the elementary areas around the state. So if you all can just stay tuned, we're hoping to roll that out in the first part, January sometime, February, the first part of the next year. And this is something that we began to think about. As you mentioned earlier, I was fortunate to receive a athletic scholarship to play football at Florida State University. With that, I've been playing football like many individuals in other sports for quite some time coming up. It's something that we are introduced to at an early age. And we know in order to receive a scholarship to play at a university, whether it's D1, 2, or 3, or wherever it may be, you've got to do the things that are necessary to prepare you for that. You got to make sure that you do well on your SAT and the ACTs, and that's the approach that we're going to be taking with this initiative. At the direction of the governor, where we're going to really focus on making sure that every student in this state, from Pensacola all the way down to the Keys, understands that this Bright Futures Scholarship Program does exist. We'll be working with parents. We'll be working with community organizations and educators as well to do our part. And we're in conjunction with our sister agencies. We're gonna make sure that everyone is aware of this. And oftentimes with this Bright Future Scholarship, we're talking about colleges and universities, but there's a component that also deals with vocational and trade opportunities for these students. So that is going to be a primary focus, along with what we've created here called our path forward, in which we're looking at ways to continue to maximize efficiencies, be creative from an innovative standpoint, and institute internal initiatives to make sure that we're taking care of our team and our people here that really make things happen. And of course, we'll continue to expand our partnerships and really work to be more aligned and maximize resources as well as opportunities with our sister agencies.
There's a lot of great work being done across the state in the vocational education sphere. I just went to a vocational school that was magical here in Duval. George Stone is over in Pensacola. I'd love to have you come back home when you guys get ready to roll that out, especially the elementary, because my elementary and middle school, that is amazing. And my wife is a retired educator. She always talks about how that Bright Futures program has really elevated families that historically may not have been able to go, but because of the Florida lottery, they were able to go to a school of their choice and not have to worry about paying. So that vocational piece is so critical.
John, I could not have said it any better. I mean, we truly do believe here that every student, every child should have that opportunity, and they should not be denied the opportunity, to be able to succeed, no matter their race, ethnicity, or their religion or socioeconomic status. And we oftentimes talk about the support and the help that's needed. Well, this is one way to be able to help any student that's here in this state. And of course, we want to keep that talent here by obtaining a Bright Future Scholarship. And for those in the different communities, these challenging communities, being a boy from Pahokee, growing up there in Pahokee, and it's a different world there
In
in
the
Palm
muck.
Beach County, out in the western part. But we got to make sure, whether it's the rural communities, the challenging communities, that these students know that this opportunity exists, and across the board, we're going to do our part to make sure that the awareness is there to help these students, and which impacts families and the communities as well.
Well, at the Lit TV Network, and that's what you're on right now, the Lit TV Network. We'd love to partner with the Florida Lottery. We are around the world. We're actually headquartered here in Jacksonville. We would love the opportunity to get you and any other persons on to just, as you get ready to roll this out, to just roll it out and use us as a vehicle to roll it out. And then we've got here in Jacksonville a number of Black newspapers. I'd love to see the Florida Lottery in the Florida Star here in Jacksonville. But I'm telling you, we would love to see that rolled out, because I'm telling you, you really got me when you said one of the integral parts of the new program is going to be vocational. Because I'm telling you, everybody's not made to go to college. That's not a bad thing. It's just a fact. And the fact that this is the other thing that gets me, and I need you to respond to that. But this is the other thing that gets me. You guys have averaged $1 billion for education over the last 19 years. Come on, man.
I tell you, John, it's 20 years now. We just finished, our last fiscal year, and 20 years in a row, we've averaged more than $1 billion a year that we've transferred to the Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. We're fortunate. I mean, the lottery, over the years, I mean, we're been able to generate, more than $9 billion here. And this past year, fiscal year, we are transferred more than 2.3 billion to fund education. And of course, we're talking about the other resources going into other ways in which we've generated economic support here through our vendors, through our retailers and other partners. And then, of course, having to pay the prizes for those who are fortunate enough to be able to win prizes. But ultimately, working at about 1% of the revenue that we generate from an overhead perspective. Our primary focus, as I mentioned before, and everyone that plays this lottery, a percentage is going back to education. And we're going to do our part in working with our sister agencies at the leadership of Governor DeSantis to make sure that we're doing our part to break that cycle. And I was taught at an early age that education, it was truly the foundation and the cornerstone of being able to earn success, to reach success here in this country. And you just think about how we grew up. My granddaddy, grandparents, granddaddy, my mom's father migrated here from Montserrat down in the West Indies. Couldn't read or write. Okay. Grandmothers who both, just got to sixth grade. And, with that, all they wanted was a better opportunity for their kids and for their grandkids. And it's incumbent upon individuals like you and myself and many others and the listeners that are out there to make sure that we're doing our part to help uplift our communities and to help those future leaders prepare and to be all that they could possibly ever dream of being by providing them the tools and the resources to be successful.
Well, I tell you one thing I love about you. You always had a business focus. Even when you were in Orlando, I mean, you were focused like a laser from a business perspective, and I love that. Tell me a little bit about. I know we're talking about the lottery, but let's go back. Well, before we talk about that, you also saw where you got like 3,000 millionaires, nearly almost 3,000 millionaires this lottery was created.
We've over the years since 1988, we've been able to create more than 3,000 millionaires
Wow.
here at the lottery. I think which is fascinating. I mean, we most recently we had a $2 billion Powerball in which I crossed every finger and was hoping that that winner was here in the state of Florida. But unfortunately, that person ended up being in California. But prior to
I didn't
that,
get it. I didn't get it either.
we definitely want you to keep playing, and we encourage all of our players to play responsibly. I mean, the truly for us, the byproduct of you all playing is a chance to be able to win the prizes, but the primary focus is all about education. And we've been able, the Mega Million a couple of months ago, earlier this year, was almost 450, almost 460,000 or a million. And one of those individuals, one was located down in Fort Myers, and
Okay.
I began to think about Hurricane Ian, and to be able to have someone there and one of our retailers to receive
Wow.
a bonus, a commission on that was extremely timely. And we want to continue to create millionaires. We'll continue to provide some of the best games in the entire industry in which our players want to play, whether it's scratch games or terminal games. And we're excited about the mix that we have. And because of that, 2 years in a row, the Florida Lottery has finished as the #1 revenue generating lottery in the entire country of the
Wow.
48 lotteries that exist. And we
Wow.
couldn't do it without, being able to partner with various partners around this state and having a chance to do what we're doing here to talk about the lottery oftentimes, and getting people to understand that it's not just about the games and the fun games that we have, but ultimately it's about the revenue that's generated to be able to help those many of their kids and grandkids and nephews and nieces, and that's what it's all about, John.
Well, talk to me, John, about the support, because there's some people that have an addiction, a
Mhm.
gambling addiction. I know you guys have some programs to help those folks.
Yes, I mean everything that we do, and there's quite a bit, that we do as it relates to marketing, in which we you can visit our website, and it talks about what we call play responsibly,
Okay.
in which we're with our play responsibly initiative. We're committed to building responsible gaming, and of course best in the industry. But it is important that we continue to encourage families that perhaps maybe that are struggling with addiction to contact our partners at the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling, which offers a variety of free services to those callers. And again, I mentioned we have our players guide, which is on our website, and it gives detailed information on how to play responsibly. And every opportunity I get, I'm going to also talk about playing responsibly. And every person that works here that has a chance to engage with externally, is important for us to not just talk about the prizes that you can win, but making sure that you do it in a very responsible way. So we do partner with the World Lottery Association, in which we have a gaming certification from the NASPO, which is the North American Association of State and Provincial Lotteries, as well as the National Council on Problem Gambling.
Okay.
So I have a team here who are constantly engaging with these different organizations, and we're doing our part to make sure that they have the resources that they need to assist those who truly may have an addiction.
John, if I'm a business and I want to do business with the lottery, how do I do that? And is that an opportunity that's out there?
Absolutely. You know, as you mentioned, I mean, being back in Orlando, my permanent residence is in Orlando, although I'm here in Tallahassee and this is where I work, and been in this role. You got to have a place and live here in Tallahassee. But coming here, I remember when I had a chance to meet with Governor DeSantis, and we're talking about this opportunity. And one of the things he talked about that he would like to see, and something that was important to him, was the alignment of education and workforce. And far too often, when we think about education and colleges and universities, go to school, get a degree, and then it's like figure out where you're going to get a job. We want to make sure that we are connected with our educational institutions throughout the state. And as I mentioned, we'll be starting with middle school to do some things. But we have created what we call doing business with the lottery. How to do business with the Florida Lottery, which is the first of its kind that I'm aware of here at the lottery. I've taken many of the ideas and initiatives that we have in the chamber world, in which I had a chance to run the Orlando Regional Chamber of Commerce, as well as the African American Chamber of Commerce, in which I was the president there in Central Florida, and want to make sure that every business here in the state understands how to do business with us, whether that's dealing with advertising from a marketing standpoint, whether that's being a retailer, whether that's dealing with some of the services in which we need here to be able to continue to function and to operate as an state agency. And we are making sure that our procurement process is open and fair, which we want to make sure that everyone knows how to do business here at the lottery. And you can definitely visit our lottery website at www.flalottery.com to really find out more information about doing business with the Florida Lottery.
So if I'm a business owner, now mind you, this brother Seminole right here, his expertise before he came to the lottery was a regional, not just a local chamber of commerce, but a regional chamber of commerce head, and he was an African American chamber of commerce head. So we in the African American community, we've got someone who understands it from a 30,000-foot view and from an on the ground view. So there are significant opportunities with the lottery. So just go to flalottery.com, right?
Yes, sir. And that's what it's about, John. You just summarized it. Having had a chance to work in the community, in the business world, and be a part of starting a business, I know how important it is for those small businesses, especially, to just have a chance. And oftentimes, because they're working in their business, they don't often get a chance to work on their business, which is very important. And here at the lottery, with the team we have here, we want to make sure that everyone knows how to go about doing business with the lottery and to understand what the capacity is that's needed to become one of our partners.
Great. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is this. I need to know what you think about Florida State.
Well, listen, I know we've both, I get a chance to follow you on social media as well, and I know just how we've all suffered through the past few years, but I think many of us, including myself, sometimes express our emotions. I usually keep it in the room, and I'm confined. My wife doesn't even come in the room sometimes. In the past couple of years, but I'm excited about where we are, and it's pretty obvious. Jordan Travis has just been unbelievable. And when you have a quarterback who can do the things that he's doing, it just makes the entire team better. And it's obvious that we've been fortunate. Coach Norville and his staff of being able to get some players in there, and I think we've really been perhaps maybe one of the best in the country thus far at being able to utilize and to maximize the portal. And you think about the number of players that we've been able to get in here, and many of them have been transfers, and they have come in and have made an immediate impact. So I'm looking forward to us to just continue to grow, for these guys to continue to show the world what Florida State football is all about.
Last thing before we get ahead, because I want to be respectful of your time, and I really appreciate the opportunity to have my brother on, my Florida State, one of my Florida State legends on, and a business icon, man. Because really, when you think about it, I look at your trajectory in terms of where you were and what you did in Orlando, and now what you did. Because what were you doing before lottery? You were secretary of
Prior to the lottery, I was running the Orlando Regional Chamber of Commerce there in Central Florida as the EVP. Worked with what they call the Orlando Economic Partnership, so a member of that team. And my day job was running the chamber. And of course, prior to that, I was the president for the African American Chamber of Commerce. And of course, just intimately involved in the community. Have been a part of sales. Worked in government. Old political operative as well, as you know. And I think the thing that I enjoy more so than anything is being able to utilize the platform that God has given me, has blessed me to be in a position where I'm able to give back. I'm able to help others. And the thing that is most important to me is just seeing others be able to succeed and to live their dream. And I'm really living a dream here in what I consider to be the greatest country known to mankind, although
Amen.
it's not perfect, and
Amen.
we all know that. But a little boy from the projects of Pahokee, Muck City, could one day become the secretary of the Florida Lottery,
Wow.
the third largest
Wow.
of the third largest state in the entire union. And I know some folks may not realize, and I'm one of 10 black agency heads that Governor DeSantis has appointed in the time that he has been governor, which I think is maybe more than any governor that I've known here in this state.
You're
And
right,
you got some quality people that are doing really good things throughout, and it's just always good to be able to work with others throughout this administration as well.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate your leadership.
Hello, my name is John Wyche. I'm with Dr. Alkaline Water. One of the things that I want all of you to know about Dr. Alkaline Water is a water that's coming naturally from the ground. There's no infusion of alkalinity. There's no infusion of anything but pure Dr. Alkaline Water. And it's about 7.8 in terms of pH balance. And that's where the key is. Our bodies are pH have a pH balance. And the thing about our water is that it helps that balance get to the natural level in our bodies. So the water replaces the bad pH with the good pH and the new pH from our water. But again, this water saves lives. This water is good tasting water. And boy, when you put this water in ice and you get this water cold, wow. So again, go to our website, dralkaline.com. That's dralkaline.com. Tag us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and we're everywhere. We're even on LinkedIn. Please buy yourself some Dr. Alkaline Water.